and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. Patty, do you want to take the roll call, I guess? Okay.
Robert DePalma.
I'm here.
I'm here. Patricia Beck. Shelley Kidd. Here. James Christopher.
I am here.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody got a copy of today's agenda, and if so, are there any comments or changes that you want to make to it? It's kind of a one-item deal.
Yep.
Okay. If there are no comments or changes from the board, then I'd like a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
And is
I
there
will
a
second.
Okay, any, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay. Okay, we'll get right to the meat of it. The issue here is that Dale, as we know, when I spoke to him today, kind of I don't know if I'd say spontaneously, but quickly decided that it was time to sell, and he unexpectedly got an offer for his house from the second guy that walked in. And said, I'll give you what you want, I need the house in 30 days. So he ended up moving, and I think he's leaving for North Carolina in 2 days. As a result of that, under the state law, if we don't appoint somebody in 45 days, then the state decides who's going to fill the vacancy position. So it's incumbent on us to get it done within 45 days. And for those of you who don't know, Jim was just on vacation, and I believe it was Scotland with your wife for a couple of weeks, and he had a great time. So he just got back a couple of days ago. And Shelley, you've got another commitment, I think, for our regular board meeting. So
Yes.
I felt it was imperative that when we do this, it shouldn't be part of the board. I thought it should be all four of us. That's why the meeting's today. And if we go through the discussion today and make a decision, then it's done. If we don't, if anybody feels that something was left out or you want more time to think about it, then say so, and we'll just have to set another meeting up. But it's got to be before the 45 days is up, and it won't be able to be the meeting because Shelley's got another commitment. So with that, I'll kind of start this off, and I have one comment. I tried to make copies, and I hope, I know I gave you all the copies.
I have all the
I gave
copies.
you all the copies. Somewhere one of mine
Sure.
disappeared, so I don't know. You should have 6 applicants altogether. And I'm not sure. Was this one in your package, Jim? Because I think everybody got it somehow. I lost one.
But I've read it all.
Okay.
Yes, I have seen.
So I just wanted to make sure everybody had at least a few days to take a look at all 6 of the applicants and decide if you had any comments. And so with that, unlike the Planning Commission or the Board of Zoning Appeals where the law states that the supervisor makes the appointments and then the board just, approves it, in the case of a trustee, anybody on the board here can make that recommendation of what you want. So I don't want to try and hamper or stop anybody from questions or comments or statements you want to make. I think we've all got copies of the 6 applicants. I was pretty pleased we got that many. And, a lot of times we have the Planning Commission opening up and you get 2 people if you're lucky. And so we've got 6 of them. And with that, rather than me precondition anything, I guess I'd say to the board, if somebody wants to start the discussion on it, I think we're all willing to hear whatever anybody has to say on it here, and then
I
we'll
have
see
just
if we can
one
get to the
question as far as,
completion of it.
one of them, I guess I was confused with the resume. It looked like it was just for the board,
The planning
for the planning
commission.
commission.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think some people thought that, but in all of these, I've talked to them, I think they're actually submitting it for both, but I think that's, where's it here? Jenny's?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that too, so, the discussion I had with her didn't say that, but that is the way the application came in. So, I guess you can.
I mean, if her intent was for this, then okay. But that's
When
what,
she came in, I did
Yeah.
talk to her about
Okay.
it. But I see that too, and if that's the case, you think if we want to maybe hold that, I think she might be a good candidate for a planning commission. I just happen to know that she's retiring, I think, in February.
Yes.
But she's actually off the job, I think, around Thanksgiving because she had backed up vacation time she hadn't used at comp time. And she seems to be interested in getting involved in the township, but you're right, it does, and I noticed that too when I came in. I did not call her back after that, so
Okay.
I just don't know what anybody else wants to do. So, okay, any other questions or comments?
No.
which one?
I was
Oh, do you want a copy? copy now?
I read it all, I just left it at home.
Oh, okay.
I just want to see it.
Patty, did you have any comments or issues you
No.
wanted to bring up?
No, I don't. I too was happy that we had so many.
Well, at some point, folks, we got to decide if we're taking a decision or not, okay? I guess I'll start it. There's a couple of things I look at, and feel free to jump in, because I want this to be an open discussion. One of the things I try to look for is, does the person that's making the application, one, ideally, they have had some background experience in working in a government entity or government kind of functions, so that they understand there are things you can and can't do in a specific issue. The other thing is, ideally, I would prefer to have seen them, and this is much as my opinion, I think getting on the Planning Commission and the BZA is ultimately the best way to get background information. I know you and I have talked about that in the past, Jim. I had that same discussion with Dale today. Those are the ideal things, but normally I like to look for somebody that I think has had to work in some kind of a similar environment, had some ability to work through some of those issues, and has background skills that might be beneficial. I know, Jim, when we put you on originally when the other vacancy came up, one of the things I thought you brought to the table that I think we need is getting ready to move forward on the township's property development, your extensive background in facilities management and negotiating with the contractors, and I thought would be particularly beneficial going forward in that next phase for the township. So those are the kinds of things I typically look at. So when I did that, I kind of got it down to about 3 of them. And actually, I'll be honest, I think all 3 of them, in my opinion, would be good candidates, either for this or if they wanted to later to be on the Planning Commission. The other thing I'd like to state is when we pick whoever it is, I'm going to recommend to the board that what we do is take Jim off of the BZA and put him on the Planning Commission for the reasons that we wanted in the first place, and then take whoever the newest person is and put them on the BZA, because I think that's the easiest other department to get on, to kind of learn something about municipal law, what you can and can't do, and it doesn't require as many meetings, and it's a little bit easier way to get broke in, I think. So that would be my intention with whoever we pick. Out of these, I thought Walt, Jenny, McKay, and Gina Mazzarelli were 3 candidates that had some of the kinds of backgrounds and things that we liked. I noticed that Jenny McKay put on the application itself, like you did, the Planning Commission, so I guess I'd probably say that, in my mind, it narrows it down to Walt and to Gina as my preferred ones. But I'm open to discussion from anybody that has any other ones. I think both of those are good. Walt had a particularly good resume that showed a lot of government involvement, a lot of committees he's worked on, and a lot of the projects that he did when he lived in Macomb County before he moved out here have actually been in the kinds of things I think that we're interested in and we have done, like, you know, voting down new landfills, that type of thing. So I think he's got some understanding of some of the same issues that we dealt with in the past here. Gina has been involved in the school board and sports boosters and that, so she's kind of got some record of getting involved in the committee, and I guess I'm open to discussion and flexibility on this, but to me it seems that Walt and Gina's, I think, are the 2 strongest ones. I guess I would probably suggest just Gina, because I had some very good discussion with her when she came in. But I'm open to whatever anybody wants to do, so bring
I was going to say that was going to be my recommendation with
Okay.
Gina. I don't know if it's a Mrs. or not, so I'm just going to call her Gina.
Her husband passed away, so I
That's
think you still call her Mrs., right?
2 years ago.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very, very nice lady, and I was pleased that, just so you know in the background, she did have her house catch on fire some years ago, and it was a log home, so you would appreciate it. And you know what happens on a log home.
I do.
There are no little losses on it. And I remember the day it happened, because I went out there when the fire department was still there. Her house is way back in the woods, and you can't really see it from the road. and it was a day that was kind of foggy and overcast, so the whole area was kind of blanketed in gray fog. And I believe her and her husband were both at work, and the 2 dogs were home, and the kids, I think, were in school. And the house caught on fire. Nobody saw it until the smoke started barreling so much that it actually got above the fog lift. So her house was a total loss. And it got rebuilt, and then unfortunately a few years later her husband got brain cancer and passed away. That's the only real knowledge I have of Gina is from going to her house the day it burned and seeing what we could do when the fire department was there. So, okay, well, I guess
Pretty much what you were saying, that was kind of what I was looking at, is anybody with prior experience or, has the idea of what needs to be done opposed to, because there's several of them that were longtime residents, which I took into account too, but, I'm basically saying that I agree with your thought process on that. That was kind of what I was thinking.
How about you, Dave?
I do too, yes.
Okay, well, I don't want to cut anybody short. Is there anything else that the board wants to ask or do anything? This could be one of our record meetings. Okay, if there's no other questions or comments from the board, then I guess I would like somebody to make a motion as to who they think we should make the next trustee, and we'll see if it goes.
I'll motion that we select Gina Mazzarelli to become the next Groveland Township Board of Trustee member to fill the vacancy.
Okay. So everybody knows,
David
it's like the other vacancies that come up,
Yes.
it's to fill the remainder of the term
Term. She'll
until the
have
2020 election.
Now, I guess I'd like to also hear though, what, between Gina and Walter, what the feelings are as far as the differences. I mean, like I say, Walter has had several different things that he's worked on, and, and Gina, like you say, she did the school board. So,
I would say the basic difference is because Walter's resume is very good, I think.
yes.
But it's all related to when he lived in Macomb County, and he's been here a long time.
Right,
Where Gina's stuff is more recently because she's been involved in the school board.
okay,
So
okay,
that's kind of the analysis I went through.
okay. And that was kind of, like I said, I just wanted to hear what the other thoughts were on that.
Any other, okay, you made a motion.
Yep.
I'm gonna not lose my place
I
here.
apologize.
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
I will second that.
Okay, are there any more questions from the board members? Okay, if not, Patty, you want to take a roll call vote?
Yes, Robert DePalma,
Yes?
Patricia Back, yes, Shelley Kidd,
Yes.
and Jane Christopher.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay, so we're all done.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. At this time, it's open for public comment. Are there any questions or comments from the audience? Dave, you got anything on it? It's a short one, it took you longer to drive here.
Do you want us to record your voice? He did a great job. He did.
You did, it was very good. I thought that recording came out very nice. We were up at the MTA Neal, started a podcast that he wants to do with different municipalities, and since he's from here, he invited Dave to come in because he does a number of the municipalities out here, and then he asked Patty and I to join him. So we did the first podcast, and I thought it came out pretty good. That's the one I sent to everybody in the email, so it was kind of nice.
Actually, it never really got started. It just started talking, and then you would say, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But it went very well.
I listened to that today. That was
Oh,
interesting.
I haven't
That's
listened
a
to
glimpse of it, because we were up there for about an hour and a half making that 15-minute podcast
Yes.
before we went to lunch, I think. Okay, if there's no other comments, then a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Meeting's done. Thanks, Dave.
Does that term expire at